We're so excited to bring you the next edition of Canine Enrichment. So we did days 1 through 10, and then we loved it so much we decided to do a few more editions for you guys. And this is the edition of Roll It. So you're going to want to find a few different types of towels. Some do a little bit better than others. This green towel that I chose is thinner and seems to work pretty well. So I have Ryder doing a downstay on his mat. You do want the dog to see you prep this, but you don't want them stealing the treats. So that's why I have him staying on a different mat. But if your dog isn't trained to do that, you'll see in the later video that I use a tie down, which is a similar setup to what you've seen in some of the other videos. And here I am laying out treats and then rolling the towel, and then putting some more treats and rolling the towel. So each time I roll the towel, I'm making sure that there's a line of treats. And as you can see, I left a line of treats like right at the opening, because I want the dog to go to the correct opening. I don't want the dog to go to the seams of the towel and trying just to destroy the game. I want them to learn to unroll the towel. And you can see here, Ryder was kind of pawing at it, and he was trying to figure out what this game is. So I'm kind of helping by kind of flashing the treats and then covering them back up and encouraging him to sniff and just verbally encouraging him to try and get the treats out. So that was round 1. And usually it's gonna take 3 or 4 rounds before your dog really truly figures out what this game is. So here I'm gonna do round 2, and I've kept the towel exactly the same. So this is exactly the same setup as I just did, but I'm gonna do it again so that way he can, just figure out this silly game that we're playing. And I'm just using Ziwi Peaks here, but you could certainly be using their daily food. That would work as well. And here we go again. You can already see he's, definitely figuring it out better than the first time. But he's just a big doofus and he keeps stepping on it. So I have to keep backing him up and encouraging him to use his nose and not flatten it with his paws. So as you can see, round 2 already went quicker. So now we're gonna go on to round 3, and you can see he's getting a little more eager about it, right? So I'm gonna have to keep rewarding that mat behavior so it doesn't fall apart here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fold the towel just once this time. So the first time I had folded it twice. This time I'm just gonna fold it once because now it's gonna be longer. So I made it shorter in the beginning so that it was easier for the dog. Now I'm going to make it much longer, and it's going to be the same process. You get the towel all laid out and you start rolling the treats. You put a line of treats, you make a roll, and so on here. And if you wanted to, make this a little bit different, you could have a variety of treats to where sometimes when they unroll it, they get a different treat than they did when they unrolled it the time before. So like you could have a roll of Ziwi Peaks, a roll of Charlie Bears, a roll of their regular dog food. So there's just some variety and surprise there. Now the one thing is, as I was going along here, I figured out that if you kind of smash down the towel after you roll it, it worked a little bit better. And so you can see here as Ryder keeps trying to be a big fat cheater, and he keeps trying to go to the side of the towel, and I want him to only roll it. I don't want him just to destroy the whole thing. So I helped him by just keep pointing him where I want him to go. I'm verbally praising him as he's going along here. And I just keep redirecting him. If he goes to the wrong place, just keep redirecting the dog where you want them to go. And here he's motoring right along. But you can see because it's a little bit of a longer challenge, he's got a little bit confused, but that's why we made it a little bit different, made it longer. And we're going to show you the next part here in just a moment. So now we have the small dog edition. This is Chuckles. He's young and he's still working on a mat stay. Well, we're still working on the very basics here. I'm not kidding anybody. So I have him tied to the chair so that way he can still watch me do this. I did decide to move to this other towel because I thought it would be a little easier to unroll than the other towels. So if it was easier to unroll, then I would get less frustration behaviors and it would be easier for the dog. So here I am just rolling along. I kept it short again, so not the long ways, but a short ways. And Chuckles is watching me do this, and I'm rewarding him for a little bit for staying on the mat. And here we go. We're getting it all set up. And I'm going to give it a good pat so it doesn't hopefully just unroll too easily on me. And I'm going to untie him. And here we go. Let's see how Chuckles does. So I point him out right where I want him to go. And I got a little sabotage there because I'd left a treat on the ground. So I had to redirect him, flash him the treats, see if he can figure it out. And here he goes. And oops, the whole thing unrolls on me. So this towel probably wasn't the best because I was looking for a towel that would unroll a little bit easier than the one prior, but that was just way too easy, obviously. So I'm just gonna let him finish. You never want to take it away from a dog. So if your puzzle or your game ever goes awry, you just want to let the dog get their reward. You don't want to build frustrations because it's not their fault that, you know, the game didn't go quite as planned here. So I'm going to go back to the green towel that worked well with the previous dog, but I'm going to go back to making it short. And we're going to try this again. And remember, the whole goal of Canine Enrichment is for your dog to have fun. So you have fun, the dog has fun. You want to make sure you're praising. If you're not laughing and having a good time, you're just taking it too seriously, and this is supposed to be fun. So, you know, your games and your puzzles sometimes are going to go awry, and truthfully, that's kind of the fun of playing games with your dog. And we're going to keep on rolling here. And setting it up. I'm doing a little train at the same time by trying to keep him on the mat, but you could certainly skip that step if you want to. But you do need to make sure the dog is tied or something so they can't just come harass you and take all the treats. All right, here we go. Let's try it one more time. See how we go. And you notice I skipped putting the treats right at the beginning, and I probably should have done that. But here he goes. He's figuring it out. And I keep having to shove stuff out of the way because I know he's going to roll it into stuff. So make sure that you clear the area before you let the dog start rolling. And he's doing pretty well here. He's going right along. But when he leaves, you can tell he's a little confused. So I have to keep, you know, telling him, no, there's more in there. There's more in there. You can get them. Keep trying. Don't give up. And that's one nice thing about playing games with your dog is it builds focus and attention for a long period of time. And then we're going to show you the genius level here. So what I've done now for the genius level is I've gotten a toy and I'm showing it to Chuckles and letting him play with it. I'm not sure if I've said his name was Charlie or Chuckles. This is a little rescue dog. He came to me as Charlie. We renamed him as Chuckles. I got him a little too excited here. He almost killed himself in the tie down. So now I have to get him settled back on the mat so he doesn't kill himself and start rolling my mat with my new challenge. So I'm going to take the toy and I'm actually going to roll it up in the towel. Now you have to make sure that the toy is not sticking out the ends because the dog will just, you know, go to the side like the dogs already want to do. So you want to make sure it's tucked in nicely there. You don't want it to be super obvious, like sticking out the end. And then I'm still rolling the treat so that he will keep rolling. Once your dog gets used to this game and knows, you know, how to play this game, you could probably skip a lot of these treats in the beginning rolls and just kind of have a jackpot once they've enrolled the whole thing. But these dogs are obviously just learning this, so we want to make it easy for them. So here he goes. Let's see how he does. He's figuring it out. He's rolling it along, going a lot faster than last time. The toy in there actually kind of makes it roll a little nicer, which is working out well for me. Oh, look at that. And then there's his toy, and we're going to have a play session. So have fun with this, and leave us some comments and see how you did.